Let me tell you about two American families. Both started with more money than anyone had ever seen. Only one of them still has it. The first family built railroads. At his death, the father was worth what would be $200 billion today, the richest private fortune in American history. His children built mansions with gold ceilings. His grandchildren threw parties that cost more than workers earned in a lifetime. And within 70 years, when 120 of his descendants gathered for a family reunion, there was not a single millionaire in the room. That family was the Vanderbilts. The second family made its money in oil at almost the same time, but the father did something strange. He locked the fortune inside trusts his children could never touch. They could spend only what the money earned, never the money itself. He made his heirs keep ledgers of every penny from childhood. That family is the Rockefellers, and 150 years later, 7 generations, they are still wealthy. Same country, same century, same size of fortune, opposite endings. The difference was never luck, and it was never brains. It was a set of rules. Rules rich families drill into their children at the dinner table, while everyone else's children learn to balance a checkbook. Today, you get the rules, all 10 of them, each with the real numbers behind it and the move you can make tonight. Rule 7 is the one that will annoy you. Rule 10 is the one nobody talks about, and it opens the door to the next episode. Rule number 1, never eat the golden goose. This is the rule that split those two families. The Vanderbilts spent the fortune itself, the goose. The Rockefellers spent only what the fortune produced, the eggs, and made the goose legally untouchable. You don't need a trust fund to copy this. You need one account with a one-way door. Money goes in, and it never ever comes out. The eggs it lays, the interest, the dividends, those you'll spend one day. The goose itself? Never. Not for a car, not for a kitchen, not even for a wedding. And here's why the rule works when everything else fails. It removes the decision. Every time you're allowed to debate touching the pile, eventually you lose the debate. One emergency, one sale, one bad week. The rich don't win that debate, they refuse to have it. Tonight's move, open that account and literally name it the goose. The name sounds silly, the name is the fence. Rule number 2, every dollar is an employee. A dollar you spend works one shift and dies. A dollar you invest clocks in every hour of every day, weekends included, forever. At the market's long-run average, a single dollar invested at 25 grows to about $22 by 65. Do the math on one dinner. A $40 meal at 25 is roughly 880 retirement dollars. That doesn't mean never eat out. It means know the price tag behind the price tag. Rich kids are taught to ask one question before every purchase. How many employees am I firing for this? Tonight's move, automate any amount, even 25 a week, to leave on payday. If you watched the $10,000 episode, you already built this machine. This rule is what the machine is for. Rule number 3, buy assets, not status. The biggest study of American millionaires ever done, Thomas Stanley's The Millionaire Next Door, spent 20 years interviewing them, and the results broke everyone's brain. The typical millionaire drove a used car, lived in the same modest house for decades, had never paid full price for a suit. Warren Buffett still lives in the Omaha house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. Meanwhile, the people who look rich are often the poorest people on the block. A new luxury car loses roughly half its value in 5 years, a guaranteed losing investment wearing a badge. Status is the most expensive product on earth because it's the only one that eats the money that was supposed to set you free. The rule rich kids learn at the dinner table: assets buy status later. Status bought now kills assets forever. Tonight's move, the 24-hour rule. Any purchase whose real job is to impress someone waits one full day. You'll cancel most of them because the itch was never about the thing. Rule number 4. Taxes are a rule book, not a bill. The middle class treats taxes as weather, something that just happens to them. Wealthy families read the actual rules because the rules are written for owners, and they are shockingly generous if you're on the right side of them. Here's one that sounds illegal but is printed in black and white. Long-term capital gains are taxed at 0% for a single filer with taxable income under about $47,000. 0. A retirement match at work is an instant 100% return before any market growth. A Roth account grows tax-free for the rest of your life. None of that is a loophole. It's the rule book almost nobody opens. Tonight's move, grab every dollar of employer match first. It's free money with your name on it. Then ask one question of every account you own. Is this money growing taxed or growing free? Rule number 5. Debt is a blade. Know which end you're holding. The wealthy borrow against assets, rates in the single digits, and the asset keeps growing while they spend. The strategy is so common, it has a nickname: buy, borrow, die. Everyone else borrows against their own paycheck. 24% on credit cards, up to 400% on payday loans. Same word, debt. Opposite directions. One cuts the tree down for you, the other cuts you. The test rich kids memorize. Does this debt buy something that pays me or something that costs me? A mortgage on a rental that covers its own payment can pass the test. A financed jet ski never will. Tonight's move, write every debt you have in 2 columns. Blade away from you, blade toward you. Most people have never once looked at the handle. Rule number 6. Own boring things. Nobody at a party brags about laundromats, and yet laundromats, self-storage units, vending routes, and car washes quietly mint more millionaires than almost any glamorous industry. Boring survives, and surviving compounds. Can't buy a laundromat? You can buy a slice of 500 businesses before breakfast. An index fund is not a lottery ticket. It is ownership of the most boring, most profitable machine ever built, corporate America. $25 a week into an index fund, at the long-run average, becomes roughly $60,000 in 20 years. Lunch money in, house deposit out. Tonight's move, cross the line from worker to owner this week, even with $10. The amount is almost irrelevant. The line is everything. Rule number 7. Make the kids earn it. And yes, this is the one that annoys people. Old money families are famously deliberately stingy with their own children. Allowances split in thirds. Spend, save, give. Mandatory summer jobs, the heirs bust tables and stack shelves. Trust funds that pay income but never principal, and often only match what the child earns on their own. Cruel? Look at the numbers from the start of this video. 70% of family fortunes are gone by the second generation, 90% by the third, and the number one killer isn't taxes or bad markets. It's heirs who inherited the money without inheriting the rules. Every culture on Earth has the same proverb, shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. It keeps being true because comfort deletes the skills that built it. Tonight's move, if you have kids, the next allowance arrives as 3 jars. Spend, save, give. That's the whole intervention, and it's more financial education than most schools deliver in 12 years. Rule number 8. Keep a war chest. Baron Rothschild said the time to buy is when there's blood in the streets. In 2008, the market fell 57% and every dollar invested at the bottom roughly doubled within 4 years. The people who could buy were the ones holding cash while everyone else mocked cash as lazy money. That's the part nobody explains. The rich don't just hold cash. They hold cash with a job, and its job is buying other people's panic. Your $10,000 shield from last episode is step 1. The fund after the shield is the war chest. Tonight's move, nothing yet, just learn the sequence, because most people never hear there is one. Shield first, war chest second. Panic someday becomes your discount. Rule number 9. Income follows ownership. Here is the single most uncomfortable statistic in American finance, straight from the Federal Reserve. The richest 10% of Americans own 93% of all stocks. Read it again. The thing that pays the rich is a thing most people simply do not own. A salary stops the day you stop. Ownership pays while you sleep. The dividends of America's biggest companies have kept growing for decades, through wars, crashes, and pandemics. The tenant pays the landlord's mortgage. The customer pays the shareholder's dividend. Every dollar you touch is on one side of that line or the other. Tonight's move, check which side your money slept on last night. If all of it woke up as somebody else's dividend, that's the thing to change first. Rule number 10. Silence is a strategy. The strangest pattern in all the millionaire data. The people with real money are nearly invisible, and the flashy ones? Study after study of luxury car buyers finds a shocking share leasing the image 6-figure car, 4-figure net worth, 1 missed paycheck from the repo man. Old money has a name for the alternative: stealth wealth. Dress below your bracket. Never announce a win. Let compounding do its work in the dark, where nobody can talk you out of it. Because visible money attracts exactly 3 things: sellers, borrowers, and lawsuits. Invisible money attracts nothing but interest. There is an entire playbook for this, getting rich without a single person knowing, including a 100-year-old Japanese method built for small salaries. That playbook is the next episode. The 10 rules, 1 breath, protect the goose, hire your dollars, assets before status, read the tax rule book, hold the safe end of debt, own boring things, make the kids earn it, keep a war chest, own, don't just earn, and build in silence. Rich families teach this at dinner. Now it's yours, and it fits on 1 page. Screenshot the recap, pick 1 rule, and tell me in the comments which one you're starting tonight. I read every single one. Next video, how to get rich without anyone knowing, the Quiet Wealth Playbook, including a 100-year-old Japanese method that turns small salaries into fortunes. Subscribe so you don't miss it. See you there.